Hey everyone. As a wrestling fan, I enjoy both WWE and TNA, and when I can catch it, Ring of Honor. But there's one thing about TNA and WWE specifically that's making them very different right now. Now, you might remember back in the day when WWE had a TV-14 and almost sometimes TVMA rating, that their divas would be put into situations which was considered hardcore or a little too racy. In this case, when it came to wrestling each other, there were times that the divas themselves were put into hardcore matches. But unfortunately, the hardcore matches weren't as hardcore as a lot of fans would hope. Unlike what you see in TNA now, which is completely off the charts. I mean, let's not forget that TNA started getting hardcore with the knockouts even before the two knockouts that are being talked about in these situations currently, which are Taylor Wilde and Daphne. Let's not forget that there were knockouts before them. Moose and Roxy. I mean, hell, Roxy bled from the head when she competed in hardcore matches. And the only reason Taylor Wilde is in these situations with Daphne right now is because Roxy is gone from TNA and Moose is on the injured list. That's the only reason Taylor Wilde's in this right now. Also because Victoria, or Tara right now, is in a situation with the Beautiful People, storyline-wise, and Awesome Kong is in that same picture. Now, who does that leave people with? Taylor Wilde. She's the only one left that would probably do this, and she is. And she is doing it. There's no doubt about it. Now, I know a lot of people have been asking the question as to when WWE might do this again with the Divas. The question is, they never will. Unless you got the SmackDown vs. Raw game, and you can easily make a one-on-one match between the Divas or a Fatal 4-Way or whatever. You just take out the rules. No DQ. Take out the disqualification and the counter. Hey, you got yourself a hardcore match with the Divas. That's the only way. That's the only way you're going to do it. Because honestly, there is no way WWE, now with the PG-rated shows and themes, are going to let the Divas do this. Now, it does seem as though WWE might be going back to that TV-14 rating real soon. Because what we have happening at the Bash tomorrow night, who knows? But right now, as long as I got a TV PG rating, it's not going to happen. But in TNA it is happening. I mean, let's take a look at what's happened recently. Last month at Sacrifice, we had a Monsters Ball between Daphne and Taylor Wilde. It looked like a common, hardcore match that you normally saw in the Attitude TV-14 era of WWE. But then last Sunday, we saw the Monsters Ball again, mixed tag team match, and then towards the end, we not only saw Taylor Wilde jump off the stage onto Daphne, which, of course, you'd probably see in WWE if they would still do it. But we also saw Taylor Wilde drive Daphne into a pile of thumbtacks, which, believe it or not, WWE would never allow the Divas to do. Even when they had a TV-14 rating, they never allowed them to do that. Sure, they allowed them to get driven through tables, but never through thumbtacks. And then, this past Thursday on Impact, it happened again in the first ever Knockouts 10,000 Thumbtacks match. Which, again, WWE would never allow. So the only question is, what's next? I'm pretty sure there's a lot of ideas racing through fans' minds, like, could they do a barbed wire massacre with the two? Maybe they will. Maybe they won't. Who knows? But to answer the question, if WWE is ever going to do what TNA is doing with the knockouts with the Divas, don't hold your breath right now. Because it won't happen unless they decide, hey, we got to go back to TV 14 because that will get us a lot of attention. Unless they do that, don't expect anything like that soon. Don't expect it. But that's all I have to say on, you know, this whole, I guess you could say, comparison to the Divas and the Knockouts and what's going on currently in both WWE and TNA, of what they're doing, and answering the question of if it's ever going to happen in WWE. Again, don't hold your breath. But that's all I have to say. I'm Brian, and I'm out.